Okay. Now it's live. Now it's doing the thing. Alrighty. And I don't know. We want a pre-show or just jump right into it? We kind of already did the pre-show, but we weren't recording yet. So, nobody gets to hear that. Welcome to All Things Good and Nerdy, episode 530. So far, we are Chrisless. He may be joining us momentarily. But in the meantime, I'm Anthony Bachman, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Willie D. Nelson. What's up, Willie?
Oh, nothing much. Just contemplating.
Contemplating what, Eeyore?
Oh, just thinking about how Sony's fucking us over again.
What?
You
Because
guys keep saying I'm a Sony fanboy. I don't know why.
Because they delayed the Beyond the Spider-Verse and the Kraven movies?
Well, no, that makes sense because of the writer's strike. There's a definite no. That's
There's a reason for it.
inevitable. But
There's a reason for
no.
it.
So, have you seen this month's PlayStation Plus games of the month?
I've not looked at August yet. No.
One's a Tiger Woods, one's Death something. I can't remember. It looks like a top-down isometrical roguelike. It looks like I'm not sure. But the other one, the one I really know of, is Dreams. Remember Dreams, don't you?
I don't think I remember the name of the game called Dreams.
Yeah, it was made by Media Molecule. It's just pretty much the same people who made Little Big Planet. It's a game to make other games in, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, I know Little Big Planet, and so that's using like that engine, but you can go in and create your own game.
I don't know if it's the same engine, but I do know
same company.
Yeah, like a lot of people, some people made like some uber realistic things in it. I've gone and checked out at least as of last night. But here's the thing: Dreams have been out. I think it came out in 2017, 2018, I think.
All right, so it's been around a while.
Yeah, so they just made it for released it on PlayStation Plus as one of the games of the month if you have PlayStation Plus at any tier. The bad news with that is they're shutting down the servers September 1st.
So they're releasing it as a new game for free for August, which we get at around like the 4th or the 5th, because it's not like right at the start of the month. And then the servers go down September 1st. So you don't even get the game for a month.
Well, no, it's exactly 1 month. It came it was on the 1st of August, and it goes away or at least the servers shut down.
Were they there on the 1st? Isn't it usually like a couple days after?
Tuesday. It's the first Tuesday of every month, and the first Tuesday was the 1st.
Okay.
Just so happened to be.
It was on the. Okay, so it's usually on a Tuesday. I don't think I've ever noticed that. I just noticed that
it's always the first Tuesday of the month.
Is it always first Tuesday? Okay.
Always. And they'll tell you
celebrate first Thursday.
And they will tell you the games the Wednesday before. So they announce what games it will be the Wednesday before, and then boom, Tuesday you get it.
Yeah, just because of the weird timing of it, I've always looked on them at I always check in the second week of the month.
Now, I will say the servers are going down, but I mean, you could still create things in it, like create your own stuff in it. But I think going in and seeing other people's stuff, which is the only thing I was excited to do, is
so
going down.
So you'll be able to go in, make a game, probably broadcast it from your PlayStation, make videos, whatever, but people won't be able to actually go in and join you in that game, in that thing that you made.
There is, from what I know, there's no multiplayer. It's just like single player type of things.
Okay, but there won't be anything where anybody can access anything that someone else made because there's not going to be servers after September 1st.
That's what I'm assuming is going to happen because...
Yeah, that's shitty. That's straight up shitty. That's so dumb.
And just to give a glimpse into the future for what I'm into, I'm also playing something else that the servers are going down on.
Tease?
Well, everyone knows me. I'm a big tease.
Well,
most because I am big.
Lots of things he likes going down on.
You're not wrong.
I'm just saying. Oh, nope, wrong one. I keep clicking on buttons. Yep. They're fun, though.
Yeah, but that was a real blunder from Sony. I don't know why they're doing that. I mean, it's like, why release it now when, like, for PlayStation Plus when it's only going to be up for a month with the servers? It's like,
well,
why now? Why?
I have to assume that Sony has a list of, every video game manufacturer out there, every company, and that company sends them a list of like, these are the games we would let you put, for free, quote unquote, on the PlayStation Network for PlayStation Plus subscribers to get. And, like Sony, I'm assuming, has to make some deal with them to pay them a certain amount for them. But you got to figure anytime a game is now going to become maintenance free for the producer, like if they already made the game and now they're shutting down their servers, so they're not paying any money out for that game anymore. Like it's a done deal. That game's not going to cost them anything else. It makes sense to me that every company that hits that level would be like, "Hey, Sony, you want this? Because we'll give it to you for like $12." Because they could then offer it to Sony as a monthly game that's going to get a bunch of people playing it, which may in the long run get their company more eyes, even if people aren't necessarily playing that game for a long time. But it's not costing that company anything to offer that game to Sony. And if I remember correctly, doesn't Sony pay them if they put it on the monthly?
Well, yes, but Media Molecule is owned by Sony as of 2010.
Oh, so it's one of their own companies. Oh,
Mhm.
okay. That makes it different. Yeah, that's...
Well, I think they still pay them for it.
Yeah, technically money would go from like the parent company to the subsidiary company because you have to make all the money make sense the way it tracks through. But yeah, that is kind of weird. It's like, oh, we're going to give ourselves a game for free. It's like, well, then why not keep the servers going if you want people to actually play it? And
I mean, this is nothing against Media Molecule either. I mean, it's not their decision to put it on 1 month before the servers shut down.
yeah,
This was their plans. I forget when they announced the servers were going down. Like
well,
when
yeah,
they announced it was going down in September.
it also
But
makes you
yeah,
wonder too, like it could be one of those things where like if they throw it up on PlayStation Plus and 12 people play it, nobody gives a shit. They're like, all right, sorry, our servers are going down September 1st. They throw it up on PlayStation Plus, and all of a sudden, 10 million people start playing it. Do they maybe think about keeping those servers going if all
or
of a sudden it
just
gets massive popularity?
to be fair, I don't know what Media Molecule is even working on now. So I think the last thing they
Eh,
made was that little Sackboy adventure or something, big Sackboy's Big Adventure or something like
yeah,
that.
Sackboy's Big Adventure. That sounds right.
Yeah, I think they made that after Dreams because I mean, but I'm not even sure if Media Molecule even made that because
Hmm.
Sony owns the IP to Sackboy and Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't
I
know.
think I
Maybe it's
don't
just a
know, man. I don't know who owns what technically, even though one company is owned by another company. Can that one company still own things that the other parent company doesn't quite have like fingers in? I don't know how it fully works,
yeah.
man.
Some of that stuff is a little hard to understand.
Like I'm a hippie, man. All this corporate jingo is blah blah blah.
Plus, yeah, you never know what's restricted in all those little corporate contracts when you got parent companies versus subsidiary companies. Like all of that shit is way too involved, and that's why those companies have like giant legal firms and 10 lawyers on staff. Like,
And then you got people who just go with it, like and think like, oh well, Sony just owns Spider-Man, right? No, Sony has the movie
no.
rights.
Yep.
The whole game thing is a whole separate thing.
Yep.
That was
Yeah,
a whole ass separate
yeah.
thing that
Sony
just so happened to go with
Entertainment.
that.
Yeah, Sony Entertainment happens to own the movie rights for Spider-Man and his like family of characters, I guess is what they refer to it as. Which is
The
why, yeah, they
Spider
can.
Family.
Well, yeah, that's why they can do shitty movies like Morbius, and they can give us movies like Craven and
It's
Carnage
Morbid
and
time.
Venom, and none of them have anything to do with Spider-Man in this dumbass comic book universe that Sony's creating.
Well, except for Michael Keaton.
Which, yeah, I mean, that's about the
Weird.
loosest thread, yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. Because especially if you look at the way like the snap worked, and then the the Peter Parker spell of everybody forgetting that he was Spider-Man, it should have gone the opposite direction. It shouldn't have
Well,
sent him to another universe. It should have brought him back.
here's the thing that also doesn't make sense. Is also in the Venom part of it, like the separated universe thing in the movies.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton is still fuck. What is Vulture's name? Toombs.
Oh yeah, Adrian
Adrian Toomes. Yeah, that's it.
Tomes.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's still the same person in this universe, and where's that version of it? Because he's still in prison. They have to have paperwork on this person being in prison, right?
He's
He
in
can't
prison.
just be there.
He's in prison for stealing what? Alien tech from an event that didn't happen in New York City in that world.
Exactly.
There's no Avengers. There's no New York incident. Yeah. What did Adrian Toomes do wrong? Adrian Toomes did nothing wrong. Free Adrian Toomes.
Hold on now.
Hey, in all fairness, that's one of the things I like about Homecoming is that he's really not a bad guy. He's the bad guy in the movie, but he's not a bad guy. He gets fucked over by heroes and almost loses his livelihood, and so he figures out a way.
By the government.
No, because remember, who set up and starts damage control? Tony Stark. That's the complaint in the movie. That's the complaint in the movie is that the heroes are now getting paid to clean up their own mess. And that's why Toomes' crew was pissed. Because, Bokeem Woodbine, his character says that when they're watching the news on TV before they decide to keep the last truck of alien tech. They're like, so now these motherfuckers are going to get paid to clean up the mess that they made. That's some bullshit. Yeah, because it's a government agency, but it was started by Tony Stark with the U.S. government to clean up the damage they made in New York. Yeah, which is that's some shiesty bullshit. You go burn a building down and then you get paid to rebuild it. Like that's double dipping.
I mean, who doesn't like the double dip though?
I can't believe you just double dipped that chip.
I mean, who cares? Who really fucking cares?
Anybody else that wants to use that dip, man.
I seen what you do with your mouth. This should be nothing.
No, you have not.
Not you personally.
The
royal you.
The royal you. All right. Let's see. Do we want to head on the news of the week or should we wait for Chris?
I mean, I'm out.
So you're gonna be here in a minute
to
or
the
two.
News.
All right. Let's see here. There we go. That just switches over. And then Chris can later in editing take out this little stupid part and add in our nice little song. News of the week.
He's got to put that out now.
He can pop. I don't know if he'll edit the video. I think he just does the audio.
Fuck it. We'll fix it in post.
Fuck it. We'll do it live. Oh, wait. We are live. Fuck. We'll do it now. All right. Welcome to the news of the week. What you got, Willie?
Oh, me up first.
Why not?
So I teased something the last time we were on. I got into a beta of another comic book based card game. And of course, it can't be Snap because I can't go back in time and be part of that beta when I didn't even know about it. But what I do know about is DC Dual Force. Now, what you might be asking, what is DC Dual Force?
No, what I'm asking is how do you spell it?
DC is a D and a C, dual, D-U-A-L, and then force, F-O-R-C-E.
Dual as in two, not duel as in fight.
Well, yes, because DC Dual Force is a collectible card game, a CCG, with the face of your favorite Detective Comics characters.
All right.
Yeah, DC Comics is Detective Comics, right? That's still what it means, right? They didn't change that, right?
It was originally Detective Comics. Over the years, Marvel has referred to them as the Distinguished Competition. So that's what I always think of DC as, is the Distinguished Competition. Because for so long, it was the Big Two. Now it's like the Big Four or whatever, but yeah. DC was Detective Comics originally.
So in playing the beta, here's what I've learned from it. The objective of the game is to destroy your opponent's leaders. They have two of them. Each person's board is set up with six slots of cards on your side. The other opponent has 6 slots as well in a 3x2 setup. So you got 3 on the bottom row, 3 more on the top. Then across the board, your opponent's 3, and then their back row 3. You start with 2 leaders, and so does your opponent. Your own leaders start in the back lane left and back lane right on your side of the board. Same for your opponent as well. You always know where things are starting in every match, as they guaranteed. Your leaders do take up 2 slots on the game board, so you only have 4 slots to put in characters unless one of your leaders dies, then that spot's now open to place a card down. So it kind of gives you a little extra room. Leaders have no attack value inherently, but leaders have strong abilities that can ebb the advantage in your favor. The abilities work with a meter that fills in once for a turn, except unless you're the first turn player. Like if you go first, your leaders do not gain, but every turn after that, like in your opponent's turn, theirs go up, and then on your second turn, they'll fill up exactly one part of their meter. Each leader has different effects and different values to activate them, such as Superman, who has the activation of 3, which means you have to let it fill in to 3 to activate it. And what his does is Superman becomes invincible and gains 7 attack. So he can just attack anything, pretty much killing most things in the game, except for enemy leaders in one little hit. And it does happen particularly quickly, too. But that does pop in.
So saving up energy is like their version of collecting mana for Magic the Gathering.
No. That's a whole separate thing.
There's a separate energy.
I'm getting into mana a little bit later on.
All right.
Which means once he's filled with at least 3 charges, he gains invulnerability and 7 attack. Then the meter has to fill in again. I think you can save over, like he can save up to 4 or 5, but once you use it, he'll use 3, so we'll go back down to 3. So it still has a activation cost of 3, and you can only use it once per turn. It seems like store charge when they need it. Each leader is under the banner of classes. The classes being might, energy, tactics, anarchy, and tyranny. Those are the 5 classes.
All right.
Now, I've talked about the leaders. Now, for cards, there's a lot of cards in your deck. I've been so used to Snap, and you have 12 cards in your deck maximum, and being able to pretty much see every one of your cards most games.
So how many does it max out at? Because I played a lot of Snap, and like you said, Snap got kind of predictable because you'd start to see the same few cards. Okay, I know exactly what they're doing.
All right. I'm getting to that right away. So
my apologies then.
Oh, you're good. So did you hear about the classes a second ago?
Yes.
I don't know when you popped in. I'm not even looking at
I'm a mystery, Willie. I'm a mystery.
Oh, that's good.
We have a mystery guest.
Cards are also set up with those typings as well. Your leader dictates what typing of card can go in your deck. Like Superman being might, he can only have might cards in his deck. But there's dual force. So if you have Batman who uses tactics and Superman uses might, you have to have 20 cards of each hero's typing for each hero. So if you have Superman, you have to have 20 might cards, and Batman, you have to have 20 tactics cards, pretty much. Whew. Yeah,
you got to grind.
You have Batman, 20 tactics cards. Cards have a cost to put out. These vary in 4 ways. Card cost is done with a token system, like your mana, pretty much. Okay. They cost bronze, silver, gold, and free is the 4th one. So those are the 4 ways that cards have a cost. Pretty much how you get tokens is on your first turn, you have access to 1 bronze, and then your opponent, then back to you, you have access to 2 bronze. And then your opponent's turn, and then you back on your turn, you have access to 1 silver and 1 bronze. Another turn, and back to 2 silvers then. And then it goes back to finally 1 gold, 1 silver, and that is what it is for the rest of the match. There are ways to get tokens with card abilities and stuff like that, but they seem to be kind of varied. Recruits are the cards that can be placed on the board space with an attack and defense. They're called recruits. There's other cards that do abilities, but one second, let me get my cat off the microphone.
So this is seemingly far more complex than what Marvel Snap is. Marvel
It
Snap had some
seems
simplicity to it.
Yeah, there's a little more simplicity, but this is also seems like it has a little bit more Hearthstone in it. Because isn't that how Hearthstone works? You gradually get more and more.
Which
Well,
is
that's
ironic
also like
because
Snap.
one of the
Yeah,
guys that was key to Hearthstone is the one that made Marvel Snap.
yeah, you're not wrong. So I guess not. I never really played Hearthstone, so I'm not really going to attest to that. I want to instantly retract that. But yes, there are other cards that could do different effects, such as a Batarang, but that's technically classified as a gadget for Batman. But it's a whole other thing. Yeah. Recruits have an attack value and a defensive value. These values can move up and down, and they will with different abilities from other cards. But the most used time is when a card is attacked. When a card is attacked, it will lose its defensive value and go. Its defensive value will go down according to how much it was attacked. Like if something has 7 defense and it gets attacked by a 3 attack card, it goes down to 4 defense, and that stays permanently unless they raise up the defense again with other abilities cards, which is a thing that also happens. But once it loses that defense, it doesn't like heal it back up except outside means. It's not like Magic where every turn your card just resets back to back to whatever it says on the card. These will move up and down.
So it's a lot of like stat shifting, like moving your attack higher, defense higher.
Well, this game does seem to be you're meant to use your recruits, kill them off, and get more pretty fast. It expects them to die within a turn or two. Like that's how it really seems like it is. But also when a card attacks, both cards do damage to each other. I should say that. So you can KO your own card by attacking something with a strong enough attack power over your defense. But the whole goal is to be able to hit the leaders and kill them off. And if there's another recruit in front of it, like in the slot in front of it, it's technically blocking for it. So you have to get rid of that before you can attack it.
Are there any abilities that bypass blockers?
Yes,
curve the bullet?
I don't have any of this written in, but there are some other abilities that recruits can have. The recruits are the ones who can attack, not spells. There's a modifier called Hunter. Hunter can target leaders directly without mattering. I think Nightwing is one of those. I think.
Nice.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. But like I said, recruits seem to be cannon fodder for the game to move because, like I said, you only have 6 slots, but only 4 of them are really usable for most of the game. So you only have 4 slots because so they'll come, they'll get destroyed. You put some more out, so they seem to move more cannon fodder for the game to move most times. Then they die out fast. And speaking of cards going in and out, let's talk about the currency that plays cards out. Yeah, so like I said, the bronze, the silver, and the gold adding on and on. And of course, you have different cards that cost bronze, silver, gold, and free. The gold ones, what I do like about this game is when you first start your hand, like you first look at your opening hand, you can mulligan any number of cards out, like to reshuffle back to get different ones. So if you start off your hand with 3 gold and a silver, I would just mulligan those 3 golds and just get different ones. But you only can do like the mulligan the one time and it's done. With any number of cards, you only get to do it the one time. You get what you get coming out of that.
Do you get less or do you get the same amount of cards?
Same amount. It just completely replaces them, but you only get the one chance to do it.
So it's like the Magic the Gathering mulligan, just a little bit different.
I think it's so you don't get mana screwed pretty much, since it is on a very linear level to get more tokens, higher up tokens. I think so you don't just stuck with all golds in your hand, randomly.
Yeah. Because that would make it, you wouldn't be able to do anything until like the 3rd round if you had nothing but golds, right?
Oh no, that's like the bronze.
Because you said it's bronze, then 2 bronze, then silver.
Silver, bronze, silver to the 5th turn. You won't be able to do it to the 5th turn.
Yeah, that'd be a shitty match if you can't do anything 5 turns in. Like you're like, I want to play eventually.
And just to also mention the user interface, in my opinion, needs a lot of work. When you're building a deck, there are some issues. Like when I got rid of all my cards, it like kept popping up to be a card magnified that I don't have selected. I tried to get rid of it off my screen. The only thing to do was closing out the launcher and restarting it up. So I think this is just because I had no cards selected. It had some selected. I don't know. It was something weird like that. I think if I put some more cards, it would have went away. But
so here's a big question. Then for me, especially someone who I've done like 26 or 27 different betas at this point, how is their reporting system for issues like that? Is there literally something you can click in the game and type up a bug report, or do you have to like write up an email and send it to them?
That's a good question that I don't have an answer to because I was more worried about writing out the script and reporting to bugs to them.
Willie's
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't care about bugs.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to hear about my bugs, listen to our podcast that we're doing currently.
So you should send them a link to the podcast when we get it edited and put online and say, "Hey, starting at this time code, here's where I have my bugs."
And also, go ahead.
I was just saying it's one of the things that's bugged me before, but like too many betas don't have an option of just report an issue, report a bug, report a glitch inside the actual beta. I don't know why that isn't the first thing they build. Give me a way to tell you what's wrong with the game that you want me to test.
Well, it depends on where you play too, because like one of the things I thought was really cool is I used to have a beta of Tapbot's Mastodon app on my iPad, and when you run into an issue you have a beta version of the app that you download through their test flight program on iOS. When you have an issue, if you hit the screenshot button, it then pops up a button when you do the screenshot to say report bug. And if it's a report bug, then it takes that screenshot and brings up a screen where you can describe what happened. And it's all done as part of that screenshot capability. So depending where you play it, if you have a beta version of an app, they could bake into tools that are already pre-built there.
Yeah, the one I liked, I'm trying to remember, it was a card game kind of like Magic, but it was, build up characters, build up an army. And like the one I played was the hares. And so like, it was all about multiplying your army. It was literally a bunch of rabbits that made multiple rabbits. And so like, it was a really cool game. They had a really cool first player storyline you went through. But if I remember correctly in the beta, whenever you had a problem, if you hit escape to bring up, on PC, you usually get your little menu, and they had just a bottom button on the menu that they could easily take out later that was report a problem. And so they put it in there like at the start, day one of the beta. So every time you had a problem, as long as you could hit the escape key and that functioned, you could report whatever problem was happening in the game. And it just popped up an empty box and you just typed whatever the problem was. That one I really liked. Yeah, because it was well made. And I don't think I never came along an issue that I couldn't tell them what it was. And you didn't have to select like, what were you doing when this happened? At what time? Like it didn't have the 9 drop downs before it let you type. It was literally just, here's a text box. Tell us what happened. And like, they just took that and ran with it. And when the game went live, like they had done a lot of updates to it. I can't for the life remember what the hell it was called. It was a fun card game.
And I will also say, I also ran into some other user interface issues. Like during the game, if I attack too fast, like I want them to attack that and them to attack, they would only take the first one and you have to wait for the animation. Although that could just be down to my laptop not keeping up. I mean, just to be 100%, fair to them. That's probably my laptop not being the strongest.
Yeah, that could be a hardware issue.
Yeah. You might have mentioned this beforehand. So it's predominantly a PC game right now. It's
the beta is only on PC.
Okay, gotcha.
Let me look this up because when I did look it up, they said console too, and mobile as well. But
I mean, in theory, if you can put it on a PC with today's consoles, you can put it on a console fairly easily.
Yeah.
And it's not like you have to do a bunch of super optimizations for a card-based game either.
Yeah,
there's enough horsepower.
Yeah, card-based, that can go on a phone or a Switch with just a little bit of like graphics changing, depending on how graphic intensive they make the animations on PC.
I mean, hell, if it'll work on Willie's laptop, it'll probably work on a Switch.
I mean, it's a card game, man.
Yeah, it'll probably work on pretty much anything.
Well, hold on a second. I mean, Magic the Gathering didn't really work too well. I mean, it worked well enough, but it was very limited on the PS3 and 360. I know they have. Doesn't Xbox have Magic the Gathering, their arena? I think, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
I know
don't
it's on
get too
PC.
into
I
the-
can't remember if
sounds
Xbox has access to it, but those Magic the Gathering games back on the PS3 and 360 were pretty fun. Even though you were very limited on how you could build a deck, you couldn't just put any cards in the game in a deck. No, it was very uniform. Like there was some extra like sidebar card that you could add in, but pretty much that was it after that.
I build my deck however I want. You can't stop me.
Well, you can. Well, they can in that one.
Yeah, because it was limited. That
I
last Magic the
refuse.
Gathering they did on PC on Steam was good because I think it had access to every card in the game. Like it was fantastic. Like there were so many options. It was kind of ridiculous. That was a fun beta.
Well, it says other platforms coming soon, and I thought it did say it was going to be on consoles. I thought I did see that at one point, and I was like, okay, huh, that'd be interesting, but I
It makes
cannot find
sense.
it now.
You make a card game, you want to put it on as many platforms as possible because that's your best chance of making more money.
If Snap was on the PS5, I'd be playing that shit more often on the PS5. I'm not going to lie. But guess where it's not? The PS5.
Yeah, it's funny. It's on my PC, it's on my phone, it's on my iPad, and I haven't played it in like a month.
I'm off and on it, but I mean,
I've been playing a lot less.
And I pick up my iPad and I go, ooh, Tacticus. I got my new Warhammer fix for the day.
Well, I guess the thing for me with Snap is there wasn't enough new stuff really. Like they had the new packs and stuff like that, but the price was starting to become cost prohibitive for the battle pass and some of the other stuff on there because I didn't feel like I was getting what it was worth, which is one of the things I guess they've supposedly been tweaking. And I just kind of fell off. And at this point, I know if I wanted to join back in, I'm so behind on the meta now that I'd be really screwed.
I think the meta is what got me. It was like it would be day one of a new battle pass. Someone and then like the first 3 people I would fight had the card that's at the end of that battle pass because they'd already bought all of it.
That's true.
And we're fighting with the brand new meta. I'm like, I haven't even seen these cards yet, and you already have a deck built around them. Like,
what card?
Kind of insane.
What are you talking about? The battle pass that's monthly?
Yes.
There is no card at the end of it. You get it at the beginning of it. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. But like you'd have people that were going out and buying all of the things in that battle pass day one and then building the new deck, the new meta that's starting that day. And it's like, okay, I haven't even seen this yet. And you've already got a deck built around it. It's insane.
Well, yeah, you buy a new thing. You just buy into the pass, and the very first thing is that card. The very first level is,
and then you
card.
get the later version of it at the very.
It's not
end.
like you're already
at the very end.
Yeah.
But no, it's just I don't know. It was the meta on that game moves so fast that like I wasn't having fun trying to keep up with it.
All I know is I still got Galactus, and Galactus is still fun.
That's one of my least favorite cards.
And now listen, we're supposed to be talking about DC Dual Force here, and we're just going back to Snap. So, is there any other questions for that? Because that was kind of my review of it.
When's it supposed to officially launch? Have they said, or did I miss it perhaps by chance?
I think you might have. That I'm not sure.
I don't think you hadn't mentioned a launch date yet, Willie.
I don't think they said a release date.
Have they said how long the beta is going to last?
I'm looking.
Because sometimes the beta will have an end date, and you can kind of judge off of that.
I may have also missed this too because I was late getting here. How is it regarding microtransactions? Is it a heavy microtransaction game to be able to play, or can you be a free-to-play gamer and seemingly do okay? Or are we really seeing that because it's in a beta right now?
There is a monthly subscription thing to get extra things. They have comic storylines to go through, where it's kind of like a single player type thing where you're going against bots. And it's kind of done with like this, the comic storyline that's kind of going on. And it does some things that is fully voiced. It says to access to all the comics, you have to be subscribed for the monthly thing, which I think said was $9.99 a month.
Okay.
So we'll let you know that. And there are other microtransactions already in the beta as of now.
Well, I assumed they'd be testing all of that too.
But... Yeah. $9.99 is what Snap charges for their monthly battle pass, right? So they're trying to hit that same price.
Well, they charge you have to buy into it every month for $9.99.
Yeah,
but
you don't have to.
That's not a monthly subscription. This one is a monthly subscription. Like it is set up like a Netflix where it will automatically take it.
I'm just
seems
saying
like
that they're
it will
aiming
take
for
that.
the same price point. They're like, okay, this is what Snap's charging for what is roughly a month's worth of content. We're going to do the same over here. It might be a different subscription, payment setup, but they're trying to hit the same price point, which makes sense. They're not saying, hey, if Snap costs $10 a month, we're going to charge $25 a month over here for DC's game, and then be wondering why people won't pay for it.
And it looks like you'll also be getting new leaders and cards through that as well, through the comic book things. It looks like. Not 100%, but it's what it looks like. Like I only got because also the for that monthly subscription is also not available as of right now. It's just showing you it will be there. Like and then it shows you the price. Like, hey, for when this gets when this gets out, like boom, this is gonna be a thing.
Are they giving access to any of the stuff that would be in that section, or does it just say this is coming soon?
In the beta, you have access to one of the comic book series, which looks like JLA #1. I think is what it was.
Okay,
and it looks like wasn't that like the New 52 or something like the first JLA comic from the New 52? It looks what it looks like. I did notice also some of the comic books, like the artwork or the artwork on some of the cards. I was like, yeah, I got that physical card in DC Deck Builder right now. That is literally the card. I know I got that exact. It's on the same picture of the card I got.
Doesn't surprise me they'd reuse stuff that may have worked good for a card in their physical card game.
It is a little weird. It kind of pulls me out a little bit when I'm like, oh, yeah, shit.
It makes me wonder. In my hand. And being the shady things that comic book companies do, not paying artists, it makes me wonder if in that contract for that artist to do the art for a card game, does DC have the right to use that art for any DC card game? And so they're not having to repay artists if they're using DC Deck Builder art for the DC Dual Force game.
That could be.
Yeah, because we all know comic book companies were shiesty from the get-go. So that's definitely a possibility.
Well, I also don't know how hands-on DC was with that DC deck building game, because that was Cryptozoic. I don't know if they just bought the license and say, hey, what can we use? I don't know how that
My
works.
guess is they probably licensed it.
Yeah, but they also have to access all those images too. I don't know how they do.
I mean, I assume that's part of the license they had with DC is, hey, if we're gonna buy this license, do it with your properties, we need access to your artwork to supplement it as well.
Right, that would just make sense.
I mean, I'm not in the know on that. This is just me.
Me either. I'm saying I don't know how it works myself.
It's magic. That's how it works.
Like Zatanna?
Magic.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Who is also a leader in this game that I do not have access to yet. I've not unlocked her. I think I have unlocked Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Batgirl, because I did buy a thing to unlock her. But it's just the thing.
But you paid money in a beta.
I paid money in the beta so I could write a better review, Bachman.
Oh, no, that's the second question. Does it carry over, or does your account get wiped post-beta?
I'm assuming, I mean, I'm assuming it should be kept in there.
So I know we do Marvel Snap
well.
We do Marvel Snap comparisons a lot, but that was one of the things that disturbed people with some of the game meta when the game first launched, is everyone who played in the beta phases had a crap load of more cards than everyone else and could do some really complex stuff that the rest of us couldn't. I imagine that's been mostly mitigated by this point in time, but that was a concern.
That's something in beta that's usually really blatant in the agreement, is whether or not anything you do in the beta carries over, or if the end of beta is a wipe.
Read?
We know Willie can't read.
Do you read?
No, he just chose not to.
Do you read every TS fucking TOS thing?
I try to. I read my homeowners association manual. That was a motherfucker.
Oh, I wouldn't move there if it has a homeowner, an HOA. You fuck right off with that.
Pretty much everywhere in Idaho has them now, but now they're more like I had a shitty one at my condo where it was like $200 a month for some bullshit. This one is more like a normal neighborhood. Just, hey, we're, I think it's $100 and some odd bucks a year. And like they put up Christmas lights and they maintain all of our parks and all of our, like the shrubbery of our entry of our subdivision. So
I can get behind that.
Yeah, it's not bad, but I mean, it was like a 60, 70 page document. I read the whole motherfucking thing before we moved in. Boring as shit. I try to read TOSs, but they are They are hard as hell to read, and they're hard to read on purpose. Motherfucking lawyers do
By
that shit
design.
on purpose. Yeah. The harder it is for you to understand it, the more likely you are to pay them to read it to you. Motherfuckers. All right. Is that all you had, Willie?
Do you have any other questions for DC Dual Force that I could possibly answer? Because I think I'm pretty well versed on how the game works. I won a pretty good amount of the games.
A simple final question from me then. Simply put, we're in a beta. I know it's not done. Thumbs up or thumbs down out of you, Willie?
Since I can only play it on my laptop as of right now, because I don't have a fucking gaming PC or anywhere. I don't even need a gaming PC, I wouldn't think, but at least something. Like this laptop, I really wish I had a mouse for this laptop now, because that little touchpad is annoying for this. I mean, I guess I could just plug an HDMI cord into the computer to the TV, so I can
get a
just
wireless
do
mouse
that.
too, or put a controller into it.
God.
Can't you connect a PlayStation controller via Bluetooth to a PC?
I don't know if it has
Controller support,
gamepad to support.
So my question would be, what's your favorite card?
Favorite card. Ooh. I can't remember who it was. It's some bat character. When you place him down, he puts a random gadget in your hand. Oh yeah, and that's also here. Let me go back to some user interface problems that just popped up in my head. Sometimes when you're fucking looking, like trying to build up your deck, other cards will add cards to your hand. Like, hey, add a spell card to your hand, or add 2 investment cards to your hand. And then you hover over the card saying, well, what are investment cards? It doesn't tell you. I still to this day don't know what investment cards are, because I don't have all of their, I don't know what the hell it does.
They don't have all of their information tips like filled out yet to actually tell you what everything does.
Yeah, if it tells you it adds a card to your hand, it doesn't really tell you what, like that one card says adds gadgets. I know what the gadgets are because I played Batman enough to like, all right, you either can heal things, you can either do 1 damage with the Batarang, and all the gadgets are free cost cards. So when you put them out, he adds a gadget to hand, and whenever you play a gadget card, I think he gets +2/+2, so +2 attack and +2 defense.
So are gadgets character specific? Like, can you only throw a Batarang if you have Batman out on the board?
If you have a technical character.
A technical character. Okay.
So gadgets are tied to classes.
Tactician class.
All right. So if you had Superman and Zatanna out, you wouldn't be able to throw a Batarang.
No, I forget what she is. Because I don't have access to her.
It's
but I know
based on
she's
the
in
4
game.
classifications.
Cyborg's also in the game as a leader. Aquaman's in the game as a leader. Green Arrow, Batgirl, Joker, Black Adam, Shazam. There's a bunch of leader cards, and they also have different like healths. Like Superman, I think has 22 health starting out, and all your leaders have inherently no attack value. Like you usually have to activate them with the little meter thing to actually have them, and some of them don't even get attacked through that. They just do random things. I think Joker does like random attack, like 1 damage attack, like 7 times to different things on the other side of the board. So it could attack the same thing 4 times. Or it could attack everything once. Something like that. I haven't played with the Joker, so I'm not 100% sure. One of my best decks was a Superman Poison Ivy combo.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I think she is under Anarchy, or is she under Tyranny?
Didn't Jim Lee do that in Hush? Where Poison Ivy had poisoned Superman and had control of him at one point? I think that's actually straight from the comics.
Well, I mean, I put those 2 in there. I called the deck Power Plants.
Nice. All right. Hell, I think I'll go next. Let's see. We grab that, put it there. There we go. We change this to that. There we go. All right. So from a Fangoria article, found out we have it sounds like the director of Scream 7 may have been found. And it says in the update on the August 2nd by the Fango staff, it has, and it's Freaky's Chris Landon. So if you guys don't know the name, Christopher Landon is the writer-director of, well, he wrote like most of the Paranormal Activities.
Freaky?
He did Freaky. Yep. So
oh, shit. I just randomly had this right beside me.
Yeah. So he did Paranormal.
It's a plant. I call bullshit. He did it on purpose.
No, I really just had it sitting here on my table.
Sure you did.
It's even unopened. haven't even opened it yet.
So he did screenplay and story on Disturbia, which is probably my favorite Shia LaBeouf movie, which is a redoing of what was it,
Rear
Vertigo?
Window.
Or
Rear
Rear Window,
Window.
yeah, Rear Window. Which fantastic, one of the best like Hitchcock like kind of spin-off remakes of taking that concept and redoing it late in a later time frame. But Disturbia was a solid movie. But yeah, he wrote Paranormal Activity 2, 3, The Chronology, 4, The Marked Ones. And then he did Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, Viral, wrote on Happy Death Day to You and the aforementioned Freaky. And then I remember correctly, yeah, he directed Happy Death Day itself, the original, and then directed Happy Death Day to You and directed Freaky. So the guy's done some great horror movies. He's done some really weird horror movies. And so it's cool. One, I mean, it's kind of sad to see that Radio Silence isn't coming back because I really liked what they did with Scream 6. They did some really crazy concepts. They did, Jason didn't take Manhattan until episode 8, but they got Ghostface into New York by, episode 6 of the Scream franchise. So like they're moving that thing along. And just they did weird shit with that movie. They threw the whole, like they kind of messed with the whole concept of the killer. Outside of one movie, there's always been 2 Ghostface, and they play with that in the 6th film, which was really cool. But Chris Landon's a hell of a director, so I'm excited to see what he'll do with it. See, on the update, as per the Hollywood Reporter, is a done deal. Chris Landon will direct. Radio Silence will return as executive producers. So there you go. That's cool. So we'll get Radio Silence still on it. It says it was actually done. What was it? It said he did sign it before the strikes. So he's not scabbing. Like apparently it hadn't been announced yet, but this was a done deal before the strikes happened because odds are he's going to be the writer and director. So as a writer in Hollywood, if he's on strike, he can't be, making deals right now.
So he's not scabbing like Stephen Amell?
Yeah, apparently not. Let's see. So yeah, it says so Matt Benelini opened, Tyler Gillett's Scream 6 hit theaters early this year, promptly earned nearly $170 million at the worldwide box office, proving beyond any doubt that this long-running slasher franchise still has plenty of blood left in it. But despite runaway success, we'd heard precious little about Scream 7 in the months since, with Bertolini Bertinelli open and Gillett off making their untitled monster movie. So Radio Silence is apparently directing an untitled monster movie for Universal. Bringing them back for Scream 7 would mean hitting pause on the franchise's next installment. So then they don't want to wait. So they went to another director. Now we got Chris Landon stepping in, looking like he'll direct Scream 7. And the cool thing I like about this is that because he did Freaky, because he did Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2, if you've seen Happy Death Day or Happy Death Day 2, they're awesome. It's a great concept. It's a horror movie Groundhog's Day. And they introduce a weird time travel aspect in the second movie that explains the first movie, which makes it even weirder. And if you're a huge fan of Scream, one of the big jokes is that inside the Scream universe, the characters wrote stories about what happened to them. Gail Weathers wrote The Woodsboro Murders, which made a movie called Stab. So all the characters that live inside the world of Scream can reference these movies that are the Stab franchise. That's Hollywood remakes of what happened to actual people that they know. And so in the movies, they've joked about the fact that the Stab franchise went off the rails, and by Stab, like, was it Stab 7 involves time travel, and by Stab 8, like, Ghostface is using a flamethrower. And, like, they've jokingly made references and showed, like, in Scream 5, because fuck you, I'm not calling it Scream, it's Scream 5, you actually have one of the characters watching YouTube videos of people reviewing, like, Stab 8 and saying, like, how bad it is. With Chris Landon in there to set up the next Scream movie, how awesome would it be if they actually had the balls that they do Scream 7 and then the next film is Stab 8? Because it would be I would fucking lose my shit if they actually put out the 8th film and called it Stab 8 instead of Scream 8. Because it would just be fucking funny. We get a Ghostface with a flamethrower and time travel and just a bunch of shit that makes no sense. Like, that would be hilarious. And Chris Landon seems like the kind of guy that could set that up. So, I mean, I'm sad that Radio Silence won't be directing, because as directors, like, the work that I've seen them do is fantastic. I'm also kind of excited about the idea of them working on an untitled monster movie for Universal, since Universal has not been able to get their quote-unquote dark universe off the ground. They've had, 10 failed launches of what should be the easiest shit in the world. They own the Universal monsters. How can they not give us a good Dracula movie? Like, come on. But yeah, with this guy on board, like I'm psyched because like this could be an awesome Scream 7 and it's more Scream. I can't be mad about it. As long as Ghostface is stabbing some motherfucker, I'm gonna be there in the theater and I'm gonna own the Blu-ray. So, any thoughts?
I still need to see Scream 5 and 6.
Five?
only
You haven't
seen
seen
Scream
5 and
1.
6? So I'm the only Ghostface fan in the group. Okay.
Well, I've seen the first 4. Come on, it took how many years for that 4th one to come out?
That's true.
From
4
the
had a
first
big
one?
delay. 5 has one of the best things though, because 5 is the one they create a character and they name him Wes, and then they kill him, and then the characters in the movie have a party for that, like as kind of remembrance. They have a celebration to like say goodbye to Wes, and it's the movie that came out right after Wes Craven died. And so it's awesome that they did that in the film. They literally made a character called Wes and then killed him and then had a party to celebrate his life. It's like,
That's
okay,
kinda cool.
that's fucking awesome. And so it's when you see stuff like that and you know that like the directors, the producers, the people involved actually give a shit about the franchise, actually care about what came before, who worked on it, who made the world. And I'm wondering, the only thing I haven't heard is whether or not I can't think of his name, Kevin Williams. Because Kevin Williamson has been involved in all of them. He's the only person besides, I think, Nev Campbell and Wes Craven that were involved in like the first 5 or 6. And so I wonder if Kevin Williamson is going to be involved at all. Either what, I mean, no matter what, he'll get EV credit and characters based on credit. But I don't know if he's actually going to be involved in this movie yet or not. And at this point, we have to wait for, post-strike before we'll get more news. But I'm getting more Scream. And there was also the little snippet. They put a new trailer out. We're getting Saw X. And there was a Saw X fan experience at a horror convention down in California. So yeah, so the Saw franchise will never die.
Has there
Not
been
only
9 movies?
Are the
Yeah.
Saw movies even good again?
they were always good. What are you talking about? Good?
Well,
They were always good.
no, that third one was shit tier.
They are
I-
all
The
awesome.
third one was so bad, I haven't watched one since.
Well, the awesome thing, especially if you sit down and watch them all in a row, it's amazing how they mix the movies together to make the timeline work. When you go back and see everything that character influenced, and then like how all of his little underlings went around and like fuck with other people's lives, the intersection of the storylines, it's like the Summers family and X-Men. It's so fucking convoluted, but it all does actually make sense if you watch all the Saw movies in a row. All the timelines add up. All the characters, like, motivation makes sense. Like, it's batshit crazy. But yeah, the Tobin Bell is apparently going to be at least in part of it, and somehow Amanda's back. And so I don't understand how the fuck they're going to do that, because I'm trying to remember the last scene she's in. I thought she got shot like 4 times, and the cops drug her dead body away. But
No.
the Saw movies, yeah, they're kind of notorious for the fact that, like, I mean, Tobin Bell's character, John Kramer, the original Jigsaw killer, is dead by the end of the 3rd movie, and they've made 9. So, like, Jigsaw's influence is everlasting. He will never die. Fucking Jigsaw cannot be stopped. So yeah, I'm excited for that too. Just the fact that they got 10 fucking movies out of what was originally 2 kids coming out of like film school going, okay, we can get like 20 grand. What's the cheapest thing we can do? 2 guys in a room. Okay, why are they there? And that led to an entire now, 10 films. 10 films just on what's the cheapest thing we can do. A horror movie, 2 guys in a room, why are they there? And the 2 creators went back and forth on that. And I mean, hell, the pigs in fucking Dead by Daylight, all based on what these 2 guys did in college. Like, it's fucking awesome. The fact that Jigsaw is still around is just insane. Jigsaw and Ghostface. These crazy little ideas. It's like, oh, what if a killer knew the rules of horror movies? Awesome. Let's fuck with that. Little ideas like that can end up making a lot of money in the long run. But yeah, we're getting more Scream. We're getting more Saw. I'm a happy horror fan. All right, what do you got for us, Chris?
So real quick, before I do the news story itself, I just saw this pop up on the Twitter machine. Who knows if it's actually true or not. Supposedly, they have cast the role of Sue Storm, which of course they won't announce because, strike going on right now. But this is a leak that says Vanessa Kirby will be playing Sue Storm.
Okay, I know the name, but I don't know where I know it from.
She was in the Mission Impossible films last time. I don't remember if she's in this most recent one. Yeah, she was in the last one. No, she was in Hobbs and Shaw. I'm sorry. She was in Hobbs and Shaw. She was in The Crown as Princess Margaret in the early seasons. Mission Impossible, Hobbs and Shaw. Tall blonde woman.
Vanessa Kirby.
Cool.
Oh, okay, yeah, now I recognize her. I know. Yeah,
She's
I've
a good
seen her in
actor.
something. Yeah, I know I've seen her in Hobbs and Shaw.
I've seen Hobbs and Shaw. I don't really remember it.
No, most people don't. It was just a good popcorn movie. You watch it and then you forget after you have your fun. There's a reason they haven't made another one. Let's put it that way.
Oh,
No,
it's
but
coming.
My news story, this was kind of a simple one that kind of popped up that I was interested in, is they've finally gotten around to doing more with Discord on Xbox. Remember, for a while there, Discord wasn't on Xbox. In fact, Microsoft was rumored to be trying to buy Discord, which fell through. And now you can do Discord parties and Discord chat and stuff like that on the Xbox. There is a new feature that just went out to all of the Xbox beta testers, for lack of a better term, that is going to allow for gameplay streaming to Discord now.
Ooh.
The article from The Verge says Xbox owners will soon be able to stream their gameplay from a console to Discord users, allowing friends to watch them play games or even offer advice for solving challenges on boss battles. This new feature is rolling out to Xbox insiders right now. Much like the existing Discord integration on Xbox, it's all built into the parties and chat section of the dashboard. A new stream your game option will appear once you're connected to a Discord server, with then options to customize the game. They do have demo videos of setting it up playing Sea of Thieves. Now, they do point out in this article, this is a one-way stream, so you won't be able to view streams from friends who are broadcasting on Discord. Microsoft first launched the basic Discord stuff back in September, and now this is their first round of enhancements.
So wait, you mean one way as in you can stream it to Discord, but you can't stream video to your Xbox from Discord. Is that
Correct.
what you mean?
That's my understanding of it. That's right now is what it sounds like. I imagine they could make it so that you could do that in the future. But this is kind of cool because it was one of the reasons that Microsoft originally bought Mixers. They wanted to make it easy to be able to share gameplay, video, and ask for help, which was you could start up a Mixer stream like that and be able to pull people in and ask for help. And now you've got Discord, you're logged in, you just be like, hey, Willie, I'm stuck at this part on the Marvel's Avengers game, which we both sort of played some of. Take a look at this and tell me what I'm doing wrong. And I could just send you the Discord video while I'm streaming.
Oh, you're not leveled up enough. Your gear level's too low. That's what it is.
I mean, that's probably the case. I haven't picked up that game in forever, and it's end of life at this point in time. But I thought this was a cool, nice quality of life update for the Discord app on the Xbox side of the house. And I'm sure they'll do something similar on the PlayStation side of the house at some point in time, too.
Nice.
Very exciting stuff.
Oh, I saw another pop-up on the same rumor. So they got Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. We got Jack Quaid as the Human Torch, Johnny Storm. For those that don't know, Dennis Quaid's son, who was Wee Huey in The Boys, and a character in Scream 5.
He's also in Star Trek Lower Decks as Ensign Boimler.
Is he also the voice of Superman?
Yeah, he's the voice of Superman, and isn't he the executive producer of the new Superman anime that's on Cartoon?
I didn't know that was Quaid. Yeah. I didn't know that was
that's Dennis Quaid's kid.
No, more importantly, he's Randy Quaid's nephew.
Ugh. I think he'd like you to forget about that. But yeah, that kid is an amazing actor. Like, I've seen him do some really good roles, and he's fucking hilarious as Wee Huey in The Boys. Like, he's absolutely hilarious. Him playing like the kind of stuck-up, egotistical Johnny Storm. I'm excited to see that. Because
I misspoke.
He was
great.
Great.
Jack Quaid is the voice of Superman in My Adventures with Superman. I thought it was just a animated movie he'd done it in.
Okay, so he's doing the Adventures
animated show.
Nice.
Yeah. The new show on Adult Swim is him as Superman. He's been pretty busy. Bummer for him though, because he hasn't been able to promote some of the stuff because of the strike. Like, for those that are unaware, like, he does the voice of Ensign Boimler in Star Trek Lower Decks. They just did the crossover last week of Lower Decks and Star Trek, not Discovery. Wow, why am I having a brain fart? Strange New Worlds, where they actually crossed over the animated stuff with the live action. So he then got to play Boimler live action in Strange New Worlds.
Nice. Good to tell you, man. You're talking sci-fi nonsense and Star Trek to me, man.
That's fair. Strange
Fair
New
enough.
Worlds is really fun, and I have started to gain a fondness for Lower Decks, and I need to finish it. Which Lower Decks, for those who don't know, is an animated cartoon that's humorous set in the Star Trek universe.
It's all the people that like work below and aren't ensigns and lieutenants and people that it's the grunts. It's Star Trek grunts.
It's everyone that works at the Lower Decks.
It's
Yeah.
the red shirts.
A combination of that and the crewmen and like the ensigns, basically, is what it comes down to. People, that aren't the heroes you'd see on the bridge all the time. Like if you watch any of the other Star Treks, these are the folks that are behind the scenes fixing everything that breaks and stuff like that. But it was really fun having them cross over with Strange New Worlds.
Nice. Yeah, Jack Quaid. I'm excited to see that. I would be happy to see a Johnny Storm done by Jack Quaid. It's going to fall on who they get as Reed. Like Reed has to carry so much of that movie and has to expel scientific gobbledygook and make the audience like understand it enough to where the story can move forward.
Well, if you believe the rumor that went around, Adam Driver read the script and turned it down.
See, I was kind of hoping we get Adam Driver as freaking Doom.
And I haven't heard anything about who's going to play the role of Doom, or if Doom is even in the first one. Who knows?
Yeah, they need Doom though. Like
we're not going to hear much right now, though, because
we're
it's
not.
Strike season.
They don't.
But
need
yeah,
Doom. You do not need Doom. Do not listen to that, dude.
You need Doom done
you
well.
Did Doom in the first two Fantastic Four movies.
They haven't
and
done,
in the other one.
They did someone they called Doom.
No, they haven't done Doom yet, motherfucker. I own all the Fantastic Four movies.
You know what I mean.
They have yet to do Victor Von Doom.
I don't want to hear it. They've done it. You can do something else. Fucking do Mole Man. I'll be happy with the Mole Man.
Mole Man.
I mean, that would tie in with the comic lore. The first issue of Fantastic Four was Mole Man.
It would be hilarious if they did Mole Man. We did also have one little bonus news. You want to cover this, Willie? We got Dead by Daylight news.
Is it the next chapter?
Next chapter, and what just announced was today.
I didn't see anything today. You want me to lead with the chapter thing? Or
yeah.
I don't know what's going on. All right, so the new chapter, it came out yesterday. They had a trailer for the next chapter because the Nick Cage is kind of like the mid chapter type thing.
Mid chapter release, yeah.
Just the Survivor. The next chapter is going to be Alien, and all it really shows is kind of looks like the Nostromo, and it definitely shows a xenomorph.
So you're saying Ripley's going to be in?
I did not say that.
That was my first response. Was we get Ripley or we riot? Because we need like one of the greatest final girls of all time, which is Ellen Ripley from Alien and Aliens. But we don't know if we're getting her yet. And it was weird too.
Put her down, you bitch.
This was one of the Dead by Daylight standardly does kind of a teaser trailer that doesn't tell you anything. Like, we remember Chains of Hate for the Death Slinger. Like, people thought it was going to be Hellraiser because it just showed chains, like, dragging, and it didn't actually tell you anything. This is the first time that they've done, a quote-unquote teaser trailer for a chapter where it flat out had the title of the movie in it. It's like, no, this is Alien. Here's a xenomorph, and here's shots of the Nostromo spaceship. Like, it straight up shows us the killer. It shows us what, hopefully will be the map.
Nostromos.
Yeah, we're assuming this because it looks like the Nostromo.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, they're straight up showing the map. They showed Jonesy the cat running through the background, and they showed the killer as a xenomorph. So, like, this is the first time that they've just said, yeah, we're not doing, like, the little teaser and make people wonder what it is. Like, we're just fucking flat out telling you, which was cool.
Well, we're assuming the xenomorph is, what if the xenomorph's the survivor? That'd be hilarious.
That would be very weird.
Like, technically,
Ellen Ripley's the killer.
The facehugger already got on your character, and the alien's already in there, and you're having to escape as the little baby alien. And as soon as you run out, bleh.
You turn into the alien, and then Ellen Ripley's running around trying to kill you. She's the killer in the exosuit, trying to find you, grab you, and crush you.
Okay, that'd be kind of cool.
That would be awesome. But also, yeah, today they also announced an event that me and Willie played year 3, right when the game came out. They are returning the barbecue summer event. Margarita
generators.
They're already out. So yeah, Woo! Lobby's already been changed. You don't even have to do an update. This is what part of the update earlier this week. It's gone live. They click the switch. When you log into the lobby, you see the lawn chair, beer cans on the ground, and balloons that say barbecue. Yeah, so you still have the Nick Cage video at the intro. They didn't pull that, but the lobby itself is now the barbecue summer event. So yeah, margarita machines are back and the barbecue hooks are back. And there's a tome to get a costume for Jake and a costume for the clown, which looks creepy because the clown's still wearing like his ring of fingers, but wearing like a barbecue outfit. Ooh, it's so gross. And the Jake outfit, I'm glad it's free.
Kiss the clown.
Yeah, kiss the clown. But yeah, so I was excited because, yeah, as one of the things, we've talked about it multiple times, and Jana's like, this is bullshit. I never got to play because she didn't play that first summer. And so she's never seen the barbecue event, never seen the margarita gens. So yeah, for those that don't know, in the game, you have to work on generators. For the one summer event before they canceled it, when the game was first free on PlayStation, there was generators that had like margarita mix machines, like at like a 7-Eleven on top of the generators in like the neon colors, which just were ridiculously cool looking. And for some odd reason, after the game became popular, they canceled that event and haven't brought it back. 4 years later, we got the barbecue summer event is back. And so, yeah, margarita gens, right? Probably right after this episode, I'm going to be playing. I got to get a killer challenge done for my wife. She's been trying and just can't do it because she never plays killer. And getting 3 kills in a match, if you're not being an asshole, is not easy. But yeah. So we had bonus news this week. So yeah, DVD release and stuff. And yeah, there's a daily login bonus right now. The barbecue gens are back, and then they added I think it's at least a 1 week tome. So it's a special event tome, just like they did for Halloween. So you're going to earn double points basically as you're working experience points towards the current tome or the event tome. You're getting experience points for both. So you can level up both at the same time, which I do love that they do that now, to where if you switch to the event tome, you're also still getting like shards for the current battle pass, basically, which is nice because it makes it easier to get those done. And you're not having to choose, oh, do I want to not progress the tome if I'm playing the event? Being able to progress both is fantastic. But yeah, so we had bonus DVD news. So now it's time for what I'm into. Who wants to go first?
I can go first on this one.
Chris has got it.
Like I mentioned, there was the Strange New Worlds crossover with Lower Decks last week. That was delightful. I'm looking forward to this evening when we dinner. My wife and I'll watch the new episode of Strange New Worlds. That is the musical episode. Yes, they are doing a Star Trek musical episode. I watched the 30-second preview they put up online. I laughed a lot and said, "Oh my god, I can't wait to play this or watch this." Rather, it looks like it is going to be delightful. On the gaming side of the house, I had finished playing Jedi Survivor, and there was another game I was playing, and I'm completely blanking out on that I had finished playing. So I checked out the most recent Xbox sale, and I had said before, if it went down below $20, I'd consider it. I picked up Gotham Knights for like $18, I think it was. Oh boy. It wants very hard.
Do you want your $18 back?
No, I mean, I'll get $18 of fun out of it, but it wants very hard to try and do what Arkham was. But the combat is not at all like the Arkham games. You get like an evade button, and that's about it. And then you have to time hitting your evade button and being able to punch with the perfect timing and stuff like that. Whereas you had a really cool counter button in the Arkham games. You'd pull off counters and you'd flip people and do cool stuff like that. It's not quite the same. The world doesn't feel quite as big. And maybe it's just because I'm really low level so far. It's not a ton of fun yet. It's a lot of go stop this crime until you've stopped enough crimes that you can then go and complete a story mission. And they've inserted like loot that you have to collect to upgrade your suit and stuff like that. So you're doing a bunch of grinding to unlock your suit, your close combat weapons, your long range weapons and stuff like that. So they're going to slow you down or make you buy via microtransactions a bunch of, for lack of a better term, green gems that are used for upgrades. And I'm not really looking forward to that aspect of it. I've only played as Nightwing so far because everyone has their own trees you have to develop, and I don't want to develop the other trees yet. But I'm only like 3 missions in.
I was going to ask, who do you start the game as?
Whoever you want. You can be whoever you want.
Start as the Nightwing?
I started as Nightwing, yes.
I might have to play it if it's a game I can actually play as Nightwing.
But you have different abilities for each of your characters. Like, for instance, Jason Todd's basically a tank. Nightwing's your acrobat, as it should be. Barbara Gordon does more of the tech stuff. And I think they set it up so that Robin, Tim Drake, is kind of the all-around average fighter on all fronts.
That makes sense.
So I played that. It's okay. I would not have paid $70 for it. Let's put it that way. Well, my best game purchase this year so far is still Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor's been great.
Nice.
What else have I been getting into? I finished watching The Night Agent on Netflix. That was delightful. I really enjoyed it. And I think they're getting a season 2, which is kind of a thriller, mystery, political intrigue kind of show. It was a lot of fun. There's something I'm forgetting, and I can't think of what it is. But if I remember, I'll let you guys know.
That works. What have you been into, Willie?
Well, I did a tease earlier in the episode. A little tease. Do you still feel that tease, Bachman?
I remember the tease. I remember.
I know you still feel it, don't you? Anyway, the tease was I've been playing a game that I got that after watching a YouTuber do like a little dissection of it, and I was like, yeah, I had some fun with that game. Let me go back into it. Even though the game wasn't that good, I can still go into it and have some fun my own way. The YouTuber is Austin Eruption. I don't know if you ever heard of him. I like his usual videos he puts out. They're entertaining. The one he did was for Marvel's The Avengers that Chris just so happened to mention earlier, just a second ago.
Nice.
And I went in with it. You know what? I just want to beat up a bunch of things as a superhero, and that's all I want to do. And as long as I go in with that idea, that I'm getting my fun out of it.
Nice.
And
as long as you get your money's worth, right? Then it's fun. Then it's worth it.
Oh yeah, I mean the single player of that game was great. The servers do go offline next month as well, just like Dreams.
Ugh.
But that's only for the playing online stuff, like with friends. But playing single player, listen, I'm only like I think I'm only like 4 trophies away from getting the platinum, and I think it's all just single player stuff. I think I can do it too. That'd be my first PS5 platinum.
Nice. Yeah, I still don't have one because my only platinum on Sony is the first Amazing Spider-Man on PS4.
Which was, I mean, no offense, it was an easy one to get.
Yeah, because as someone that did, what was it? The gold. I can't remember. What's the Xbox one where you get everything done in an Xbox game? The achievement. Did they have?
There is nothing. They don't have anything.
All right. So, but I did complete it was a Spider-Man versus Venom. Whatever game that was, where as you're swinging around New York, there's 1,000 Spider-Man symbols. They're just random little glowing red symbols. And when you collect one...
Web of Shadows?
It might have been Web of Shadows. But once you collect the first 1,000, a new 1,000 appear. I got all 2,000 of them motherfuckers. I don't know why I felt
Do they show up on your mini-map?
Yeah, they are on your mini-map. So it's not
that's
like...
something.
Yeah, it's not like they're not like invisible or anything. You can see them when you get near them. And so then, like, it's hard to tell if it's like up on top of a skyscraper or near the ground floor. So a lot of it, like, you're standing in the red dot and you're like, okay, so it's either 400 feet above me or below me. So you start on the street level and like run up the building looking for it. Yeah, exactly. You below me and then I find all the spider bites. It was one of those games I bought. I played that game all the way through and found every single symbol. And I don't know why I felt the need to do it, but damn, I felt the need to do it. And I collected everything in that game. And it was so many hours. It was just so dumb to spend so much time just looking for little floating spiders in the city of New York. But the game was great.
I've also been playing some Dead by Daylight. I've also been playing some Among Us still with some friends. Some Jackbox I've been getting back into, waiting for Jackbox Party Pack 10 to come out in October. I believe it's usually come out in October. I'm trying to go in dark with the new game, so I haven't even looked up what any of the new games are or what's going to be in the Jackbox Party Pack 10 pack. Let's see here. I've been watching some College Humor things that you need to have a subscription for them. I forget what it's called, what their subscription's called. But to watch some of their stuff on YouTube and I think it's worth it. You can find some episodes for free on YouTube, but Game Changer, I would highly recommend. Game Changer is one of the most fun game shows ever. They also have something called Actually, which is like
I've watched a bunch of that. Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah, and there's also one called Make Some Noise, where that is kind of like a spinoff from one of the Game Changers. The Game Changer game show is unique as in he always starts off saying, we have our 3 contestants, and they all know the game we're going to be playing now. And they're all like, nope, you haven't told us. Because the whole point of Game Changer is the game changes, every episode.
Nice.
So
it's three people that have no clue what they're about to play.
Yep.
That's kind of like Doug Loves Movies.
One of the best one was the host is Sam. I forget what his last name is, but the whole episode was Sam Says. You had to wait. You had to do something with Sam says first. Like Sam says, touch your ear, and then he says, touch your nose. Oh, you lose a point.
You're out.
Yeah, that was the whole thing, and it was a bunch of. It got so fucking varied. It was like, it's a laugh the whole time. So yeah, Game Changer is probably my favorite thing on College Humor right now. Highly recommend it. You can watch a couple of them for free. I would definitely recommend the Impressions one, because I think it says Impressions right on the whole above it. It's great. And if you like Dimension 20, Brendan Lee Mulligan's in a bunch of them too, and that dude's just a delight.
Nice.
He is an improv master. And speaking of delightful. Do you know how Pop-Tarts are becoming the new Oreos? They're coming out with new flavors every so often.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so one of the new flavors I saw, I was like, I'll give it a try. I don't think it's going to be that good, but I'll give it a try. Banana bread. It is just pleasant. It is just pleasant. A pleasant Pop-Tart.
It's not overwhelmingly banana-y, for lack of a better term.
It is just pleasant. That is just the word I can make for it. That I cannot think. It's just, that is so pleasant.
Yeah, it's not like the, what is it, like Runts, where that overpowering fake banana flavor?
Well, I mean, you do know the whole reason why that banana tastes like that, right?
No, but I know it doesn't taste like banana.
Well, it does taste like banana, but it tastes like a banana that was taken out by a blight in, I think, the 1950s or 60s. Pretty much anything that any banana flavoring that we have now is based on those bananas that were blighted out of the
that no longer exist.
Yeah,
that I've never been able to taste, because I would love a banana that tastes like those Runts.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore.
That's sad.
Yeah, but from what I hear, all banana flavorings are based on those bananas. So that's why banana flavored stuff that don't use real bananas have a different banana taste.
That's
there you go. That's the reasoning for it.
You learn something new every day.
I got a lot of useless trivia knowledge. Why do you think I'm so good at trivia? I bought Sisu, and I showed that, and I still haven't watched it yet. Still loving Bodies. Still a great fucking movie. I cannot sing that higher praises. Game Changer, it seems like. Avengers. Talked about Dreams earlier. Got to try a little bit of it so far before. Oh yeah, Chris, you missed it. I was shit talking Sony.
Oh wow.
Yeah, shit talking Sony.
That's what we started with.
Why were you shit talking Sony?
Oh, you want me to just reiterate it right now at the end of the episode? Because it's what we started.
Just
sure.
a brief reason.
The game Dreams, which is just a make your own game thing, and you could share it with other people, kind of like Little Big Planet, but in a different setup type of thing. It's also made by the same company, Media Molecule. They decided to release it for free for PS Plus members for the game, as one of the games of the month that you have access to. They just got released Tuesday, the 1st. Servers are going to be shut down September 1st.
You get a month to play.
Well, no, you can still play it afterward. You just can't access anything from the servers like what anyone else did, which is the big draw to me that I want to play. Like, sure, I could make stuff, but
I assumed that you were echoing sentiments that I saw other people echo when it came to the Spider-Man PlayStations, which was you could get the controllers and the actual consoles forever, but the damn side pieces that they made, the clip-on side pieces, nobody could get those. They sold out within 10 seconds. They're starting to think that Sony short supplied those to try and get people to buy PlayStations.
Listen, boo-hoo. Listen, you want to have some cool side pieces, you pop them off because they're so easy to pop off, and you fucking paint them yourself.
Oh, and side note,
fucking easy.
Side note, I did pre-order my PS5 Spider-Man edition, but I need to caveat and say that if it looks like these PS5 Slim rumors are true before I would get my PlayStation at the beginning of next month, I may cancel that and just get the PlayStation 5 Slim.
Oh, just because of the size difference?
Just because it's a little smaller to better fit in my corner cabinet where all my games are.
PS5 is probably the biggest console I've ever owned. I'm not gonna lie.
So, yeah, it is.
In order to protect myself there a little bit, I also pre-ordered one of the controllers. So if I decide to cancel the pre-order for the PS5, I'll keep the controller pre-order, the Spider-Man controller. Sorry, let me rephrase. So if I decide to cancel the PS5, I'll keep the Spider-Man controller pre-order and then just get a PS5 Slim when those drop. But
I can't wait till you get it.
I don't know how true that rumor is. And then when you go and look, everyone's going, well, we think it's happening because we're starting to see some price drops in other countries. And for instance, the renaming of the PlayStation 5 to be PlayStation 5 Standard in the UK.
Sure.
So who knows?
It's weird, but whatever.
I wouldn't mind something that took up a little less space. And I guess it was saying that like the CD drive or DVD drive is connected via USB and can be moved into different places or removed if you're not using it and stuff like that. Was the rumors that were out there on the Slim. Who knows if they're true?
I don't really care about the Slim. Oh, let me know when the Pro comes out.
That's like 2 years out, supposedly.
Yeah.
I think other than like the original Xbox, the VCR sized Xbox, I think the PS5 might be the biggest damn console I've ever seen. It is a beefy boy.
Austin Eruption, College Humor. That's pretty much who I've been watching on YouTube lately too. I can't remember who. I'm gonna feel terrible for even mentioning this when I don't remember the YouTube channel that did it. But there was like this little video essay on the art of revenge in NASCAR. I don't give a fuck about NASCAR, but that video was interesting. I think it's called The Art of Revenge in NASCAR. I believe it's called that. I cannot remember. I feel terrible because I can't remember the guy who created it. Because I've seen some other stuff that he's put out, but I give my recommendations after I saw that video. But that was pretty interesting. I'm gonna throw that out there. And also watch Bodies if you haven't. What's wrong with you? It's great. It's probably the most crispest movies that have come out in those. So it feels so natural. The dialogue is said so naturally. It's a breath of fucking fresh air.
Yeah, it is a good dialogue movie.
Like it's so good. That's one of the things I look at mostly. Like, what do you mean? Are these the codes for the nuclear launch? So it seems so forced in everything in most movies, and like this movie just flows so nice. You just got fucking Pete Davidson like, yeah, I look like I fuck. That's the vibe I want to give off. I fucking love that line. It's so hilarious. So watch good. Bodies, and done.
Nice. All right, let's see. My turn. What I've been getting into. Thanks to Chris, I got the 6 months of Apple Plus TV again. So I've been catching up on season 3 of C, the show where Jason Momoa and everybody was blind in the like a Mad Max crazy world, and then his kids have sight and everybody goes crazy. Just a weird ass show, but like it's fun and it's entertaining. I watched I watched the pilot episode of Severance. Severance or Severed, the Adam Scott show where you go into work and like your brain gets turned off.
Oh yeah, I need to watch that.
Severance.
Really, really fucking weird. I'm like halfway through. I started the second episode this morning. Really fucking weird show. Really good acting. Adam Scott and John Turturro are fantastic in it. The guy that was like,
I didn't know John Turturro was in it.
Yeah, he's in it.
Fuck Apple. I want to see it.
The dude from the guy that's like somewhat famous, the guy that said, "Hey, Spider-Man, do a backflip," and the guy on the bus on Shang-Chi.
Oh, I don't remember his name. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
Hey, Spider-Man, do a backflip.
Yep.
Willie, you can watch it. You have the PlayStation 5, so you can get 6 months free.
Yeah.
Listen,
if you sign up for the app, you get it for free for 6 months. So like it's awesome. And
There's
also
reasons.
Because of that, me and the wife have been watching Ted Lasso. So we finished all of season 1. I think we're 4 or 5 episodes into season 2. I can see what all the hype was about. The show is it's just this close to being almost too saccharine sweet to like be palatable, but like it pulls it back just the tiniest bit. So it's like the most like warm, heartfelt written show in maybe the history of television. Like it's so amazing what they're able to do with the show. And yeah, I am one of those people. You could not pay me to watch a soccer match. I cannot. I don't like soccer. I hate soccer. It's fucking just people running around. It's so boring. The show is amazing. It's only about soccer in the way like the league was about fantasy football. Like it's just the thing that they use to tell a story. And yeah, there's a character in the show, Roy Kent, and if you haven't seen it, it's kind of hard to describe. But Roy Kent is my new Patronus. Like Roy Kent is who I am in my heart.
He's
I
here. He's
love.
there. He's
He's
every
every
fucking
fucking
where.
where. Roy Kent. He's fucking amazing. The actor is so good. So good.
Don't ever
And-
hear him speak in his real voice because you'll be like, really?
Oh, does it ruin it? Does he not growl?
It doesn't ruin it, but you're like, wow, you sound nothing like Roy Kent.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure I'm done with the show.
He's one of
before
the
I ever watch
writers of the
video.
show too.
Oh, is he? Fantastic. Well, he's smart then. Yeah, he's doing like the Kevin Smith thing. You write yourself in with the least amount of lines. Like he occasionally yells at somebody, and that's about it. Other than that, he's grunting. But yeah, just a great show, great character. Also watched 2 episodes of the Amazing Stories reboot they did a couple years ago. That's on Apple TV. Pretty nice. Like it's it's like the opposite, where like Black Mirror is the darkest shit you've ever thought of. Amazing Stories is the Steven Spielberg heartfelt what if stories, and so it's kind of nice to watch those because it can't all be the dark gritty shit all the time. That'll get you down eventually. So yeah, watching Amazing Stories, like it's nice. It reminds me of my childhood. I always liked those as a kid. And then trying to think, nothing big like movie wise. Guardians 3 just came out on Disney Plus. I'll be rewatching that. Because of the Alien announcement on DVD, I've been working on cleaning up a collection of one of my buddies. He left his comic collection with his brother when he moved out of state one time. His brother was going to toss them or sell them, and so I ended up taking them for him to store them. They've been sitting like just crammed into 4 like paper boxes. Like those big boxes are just full of reams of paper. His comic collection was kind of tossed in those. I have taken those out and bagged and boarded and cleaned about, I think, roughly 800 comics. And I got them all into long boxes now in alphabetical order over the last couple of weeks. And so all I have to do now today after we're done here is pop another movie on, which I'm halfway through Aliens. So watching the movies that I don't need to watch because I'm going to alphabetize the comics, write them all down, and then send him a spreadsheet of his comic book collection. That'll be done. And then the bonus for when I'm done with that, sadly, I haven't been painting because I've been working on that. And so it's kind of made a mess of the floor in here that you can't see. And there's a good reason it's off camera today because there's just comic boxes fucking everywhere. But when it's done, I am working on my next painting project, which this one will not be for Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, or 40K. I'm actually going to do a Crisis Protocol miniature from Marvel, because this is the one I picked up for my wife when we were on our honeymoon, when she let me go to a miniature store because they have a Rocket and Groot mini. And so I'm going to paint a tree for the first time. And the rocket on this is so ridiculously small. Like the head on it is smaller than like the fingernail on my pinky. Like it's itty fucking bitty. But like it's going to be a blast to paint. I actually went out to a dollar store yesterday looking for supplies and found like a bag of just like green glass shards and then little black rocks that were $1 each for a bag. I was like, cool, those will work for putting them on the base. And then they had bags of moss for like creating like where people make like flower bouquets and stuff. But it's like, yeah, if I take those and like just take off a little tiny piece and like kind of wrap that around some of the arm pieces for Groot and stuff, I think it'll look cool as like just add on, making him look more natural than just a solid plastic figure. No matter how well I paint him, he's going to look like a plastic figure. So I'll throw a little moss on him, try to make him look a little more naturalistic. So I got that to look forward to. And then on the Warhammer side, I actually was looking for a certain paint, and in a roundabout way found out we actually have an official Warhammer store in Boise that I did not know about. I've been looking at all this Warhammer stuff for the past like 6 months, like deep diving into it, and had no clue that we have an actual official Warhammer store because it doesn't show up on the Games Workshop website when you look for Warhammer stores. So like there's something wrong there.
Huh.
But if you're out of an item and you go to request it, like Dark Angels Green, which is a contrast paint that I want because I want to paint a Marine in the Dark Angels colors, they were my local ABU store didn't have the color, so I went to order it from Games Workshop, and they're like, would you like to pick it up at your local store? I'm like, okay, cool. They'll just send it to ABU. I don't have to pay for shipping. That's fantastic. And then the store pops up with an address of like 1700 Rifleman, which is over by our mall. I'm like, what fucking store is this? Oh, it's the actual fucking Warhammer store in Boise. It's like, awesome. So I went there and I kind of was a little shady and did I don't know what miniatures are and I've never made one. I don't know what's going on. And the kid running the store is like a 20 or like early 20 something, and like literally give me like the little booklet of like how to get into Warhammer and like learning about like, you know,
Cool.
collecting, building, buying, all that stuff. And then there's a thing that they always have at their stores that say, hey, if you don't know anything about like Warhammer, if you come in, we'll let you paint a figure. And like they'll let you build and paint a figure. And so they have these ones that are like this little mini box where it's a Warhammer and Furnace Marine or a Vindicator. Those are the ones they're supposed to give you to like put together and then paint if you've never done one before. And so I lied and said I never painted a figure before or put one together. And he actually is like, wait, I think I actually have a different one. I've got a Seraphim, which are the little lizard guys from Age of Sigmar. So he actually gave me a little Seraphim lizard dude. So I got to put together
Cool.
like a little dinosaur, which I cannot ever get my damn camera to focus. Show the figure. Show it. But yeah, little cool dinosaur dude with a big like mace and a shield. And so yeah, I actually got to sit there and put together a Warhammer figure for free. Awesome store. I ended up buying the paint that I was looking for because he had it. And then there's a Horace Hearsay, the Horace Hearsay novels. Yeah, it's hard to say. So Horace is the guy that turned on the Emperor in 40K. And so in the year 30,000, like he turned on his dad and half the Space Marines go bad because they follow him. And it's a 53 book series. It's ridiculously long. I read the first book on Kindle, really liked it. I've been looking for the second book by Graham McNeil, but it's like impossible to find. It's one of those ones like you look on Amazon and like people are reselling copies of it from the 80s for like $500. They actually happen to have it at the store, cover price $10, which is the same cost if you buy it on Kindle. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to actually own the book. And so I can actually sit and read a book, because actually holding a book is always better than the Kindle, no matter how good the Kindle or the little apps, no matter how good they get, it's just not as good as just sitting and reading the book. So I got a book there. I got paints. I got a whole bunch of stuff that I can't wait to work on as soon as I'm done with these comics, which I will hopefully be able to finish today, because now it's just alphabetize and then type up a spreadsheet. The hard work is done, moving the boxes in, throwing away. I filled an entire paper box of nasty old bags and boards from, I think originally when my buddy was collecting these, some of them go back to the 90s when he was living with his parents in high school, and like they smoked in the house. And so like the boards have like that yellow line at the top of them, of the part of the board that's exposed to air. And it was just a box of those is just so gross. Like it's just, I had to wash my hands like 10 times while I was unbagging them. But that's why, occasionally if you have an old comic book collection, you have to actually take them out, throw the old boards and bags away, and rebag them. Because if shit just sits forever, depending on where it's at, like you get moisture in there, you get dirt, you get smells, it can get funky. Yeah, so that's what I've been into. And now, yeah, once I'm done with Rocket and Groot, I also got me a box set, which at some point, yeah, I'm not going to lift that up. It's too heavy. I got the Dominion box set for Age of Sigmar. It's like a $200 box set, and I don't need it yet because I still have like my 19 Space Marines to paint in that box set. But the Age of Sigmar Dominion, it's the largest box set they have for starting, with an Orc army and a Stormcast Eternal army. It has 60 miniatures in it. Like it's a giant box. It comes with the $50 core rule book. I found it on eBay for $80. So I was like,
Damn.
yeah, I'm going to snag that, because for $80, if you take out the cost of the $50 core book, I spent $30 for 60 miniatures. That's 50 cents a miniature.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, since some of these little motherfuckers on Games Workshop are like $35 for one miniature, yeah, getting a box of 60, and actually once they're done, having two armies that I'm trying to convince my wife to at least play one match against me, so that I can build them, put them all together, paint them, and then we actually have two armies to fight against each other, because I think it would be awesome if I can get her, I know she won't be addicted to it, but if I could at least get her to play, like that would be fantastic. So I'm going to try, fingers crossed. I'm going to try to get Janet to play at least one game of Warhammer with me. But yeah, now I have a box set that once I put it together, I don't have to have somebody else come over and play. I have two armies that are designed to play against each other. So for $80, I couldn't pass it up. It's a fucking banger of a deal, because yeah, on their website, it's a $200 box. And There's no way I was paying that for it.
No.
I'd have been yelled at if I spent $200 on figures I don't need yet. So yeah, I got lots of shit to paint. I think right now, depending on my painting speed, because like on my little shelf back there, I've done like 13 so far. Where are they at? I can't do the thing behind me. There you go.
3
That shelf's got
years.
like 13 minis. I started in January of this year. It's now August. So, I mean, I can do more than one a month. But, I mean, I've also gotten a lot faster. I could probably do maybe 5 or 6 a month. But a box of 60, that orc army is going to take me a while.
3 years.
3 years? I will try to beat that. I will try to get them all done in less than 3 years. That'll be my goal. But I mean, once they're all built, we can play. I'll just keep, painting them along the way as we're going. But yeah, I got to get them built so we can play a match. And yeah, the taking them all off the sprues and gluing them together, that itself will be probably a couple weeks worth of work for 60 miniatures. And some of them are cool too, like the little orc dudes. Like there's a little wizard that comes with like a cauldron. Another guy that's riding an orc, like riding some giant rat-looking dog creature. And then the main Stormcasting Colonel on it has like crystal wings. So it's a figure that, compared to these little guys, it's a figure that's about this tall and has giant wings coming off of it. That one's going to be a fun motherfucker to paint. So
yeah, I bet.
I got a lot of shit to look forward to and a lot of painting to do. So once I'm done with these comics, I got to get to it because, yeah, I got shit to do, man.
3 years.
Yep, 3 years. I got 3 years worth of
3 years in a movie.
3 years in a movie. Hell yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what I've been into.
Bachman, you're the host.
I'm the host. I'm just turning that off.
This is my day off. This is Chris's day off.
I'll tell you, it's on you, Bachman.
I'm so tired. It's so hard. All right.
Oh, I love it.
That's so how we wrap shit up. When Chris isn't in charge and I do it myself. Ha-ha! StreamYard, because I don't have all the other fun buttons and stuff he has.
You know what? StreamYard's really easy to run.
Yeah, it's not bad. I really like it. I mean, as long as I go in and do all the little type in all the tickers and stuff in beforehand, it's really not bad. I mean, I love the fact I can put up, stuff like that, real simple, like little tickers. Like, I like it. It's nice. But that's all I had. So unless you guys got anything else, we are done for this week.
I did forget one thing. Something I did. I got something just yesterday. The Mario soccer game for the Switch. I forget what it's called.
Have you played it yet? Or
yeah.
How do you like it?
It's fun. I
heard it's not very deep, for lack of a better term.
No, it's not deep at all.
Yeah.
If you can find it for cheap, get it cheap.
I think it was down to $35 a little while ago.
It's still fun. I mean, I filled in the urge I wanted to play because I remember playing Mario Strikers Charged, which was the Wii version. I remember playing that, and that was a lot of fun.
And this is like that, but just not quite the same game?
Yeah, there's differences. Some good, some... it's all right.
All right. Well,
that's a thumb like this to the side.
I had fun.
Oh, it's a slightly bent up thumb. Okay.
Yeah,
so not a thumb up, but yeah, like an Orange Cassidy lazy thumb
up.
How
about that? It's a little bit, yeah. It's it has an angle to it. Remember, it's all look. It's kind of bent upward a little bit. I can't really help that. It's natural.
Or is it to the right? You have a natural lilt.
Willie gives it the angle of his dangle. That's his review.
Oh.
I mean, if me myself, I'm not going to stand up straight. I'm glad something in mine does.
Oh.
And it's my thumb.
All right. That does it for this week for episode 530 of All Things Good and Nerdy. Thanks for joining us. We'll probably see you next Thursday. We never know. Stay tuned to the socials. Bye.
Stop finger banging me, Chris.